Hey, good afternoon. A couple of things that I wanted to bring up. Let me reintroduce myself, Nancy Anderson, and I'm an attorney with the Alabama Disabilities Advocacy Program. We are Alabama's protection and advocacy agency for persons with disabilities. So, in a nutshell, we provide free legal services to protect the civil rights of people with disabilities in the state. A large portion of the work that we do is on behalf of children with disabilities in school districts. So that explains my interest in coming to these meetings. I wanted to bring up a few things. I have a handout, and could I impose on you, Teresa? Thank you so much. You're so gracious. Some of you might know that the No Child Left Behind is gone, replaced by the Every Student Succeeds Act. And what Ms. Teresa is handing out right now is a summary that we put together at ADAP that describes the impact of the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA. I guess will become a new quick acronym. The impact of ESSA on students with disabilities. One of the things that I think the advocacy community is very excited about is that building on No Child Left Behind in a good way, ESSA really requires meaningful parent input in a way that perhaps No Child Left Behind didn't in years gone by. So I wanted to share this with you because I think in the coming years, and most particularly in next school year, there will be opportunities for parent engagement both at the state and local level on how to make sure that when it says every student succeeds, that in fact it means that every student succeeds, including students with disabilities. So I wanted to share this summary with members of the SEAP, as well as the public, as well as State Department folks, to let them know that we at ADAP, and I'm confident other advocacy partners, should I call you out, Gina? No. She and I have been talking about different opportunities that we might be able to put together to really get that parent input again at the state and local level. So that's number one. The second thing I wanted to bring up, another thing that we at ADAP are following is the state's ever-evolving charter school movement. Charter schools are public schools, and as such have to follow the anti-disability mandates found in federal and state law. Recently we shared a letter with the Public Charter School Commission about some things we were concerned about regarding public charter schools. Most precisely, one of the things that, or the thing that really prompted the letter was, and I invite anybody from the State Department who knows if I've interpreted this incorrectly, please stand up and say, no, you didn't quite get it right. We understood from news reports that the commission had said, well, we're not going to necessarily make charter schools follow state content standards, which made the hair on the back of my neck kind of curl up, because as you all know, IEPs have to be written to state content standards. So that, among other things, are things that we are following regarding the charter school movement, and in the coming months, again, through our newsletter and through the SEAP, I hope to be sharing information about that. Third thing, and it relates to the exercise we did this morning, so I'm hoping that, I just want to make two comments about the things that I wrote and put up there. I didn't know whether or not you were going to be reviewing them like you did last time, Eric. You went and read each one out loud. Okay, all right, so I'm going to make my comments then, just to kind of put them out there. Regarding the LRE issue, why that number has the slippage, the non-achieving and the slippage and so on. I guess the question that I most had and that I put on the board up there is, does the State Department know for sure what is going through the minds of the IEP teams when they make their LRE placement decision? Because if you don't know why they're making the placement decision, then I'm not sure you can provide the remedies that are needed to address their rationale. So that's just kind of an open question. I don't know if, for instance, you've gone in and looked in districts where, you know, they have perhaps too many kids in those certain category. Have you gone and talked to IEP teams, looked at records, talked to families, etc., to say, okay, when the team was sitting around the table and it decided that little Johnny needed to be in this LRE placement, it did it based on these reasons. Because if some of their reasons are screwy, then that's where the focus of your interventions have to be. And so I hadn't heard anything about that kind of drilling down, and I just wanted to know if there had been. So that's a question that maybe we could talk about. When you had asked if there were any questions, I didn't bring that up earlier because I thought there might be the opportunity to discuss it again. So I'll throw that out there now. Frankly, when I go to IEP team meetings, I see an awful lot of people, too many people, I guess is a better way to put it. And understand, I only go to the bad meetings. Caveat, nobody has a lawyer come to good meetings. I know there are a lot of good meetings out there. I go to the bad ones, obviously. But the bottom line is I see an awful lot of LRE decisions being made because people are either ignorant of ways to meet the needs of diverse learners and or they don't want to put the resources, i.e. money, towards doing what it takes to meet those needs. And so it's kind of a punt. It's easier. That's what I see. But I would be interested in finding out what you've been able to learn about what the rationale is behind some of those decisions. And is it good rationale or is it bad rationale? So that was the first thing I wanted to comment about, and I'm going to wrap up here because I don't want to take too much time. The other thing that I noted in the back, the transition indicators. Some of you, particularly at the State Department, know that there is a little ad hoc group of family advocates who've been meeting with the State Department to talk about transition and what could be done to improve transition outcomes for youth. And so I guess it was almost about a year ago that we put together a list of recommendations that we felt as families and advocates would be beneficial to help improve transition outcomes, particularly when it comes to employment. And so my basic ask over there is, again, for the State Department to look at those recommendations and consider adopting some of them. And at past SEAP meetings, I brought those. I did not think to bring them today, but if you're interested, I'd be happy to share the recommendations of that ad hoc group with you. And I guess that's it. Thank you.